Hey everybody, Jewel here with you with a tropical update on Sunday, the 23rd of August, 2020. Well, we got some more changes, folks. I'm going to tell you all about it, and I'll tell you what I think, and I'll make sure I get in what the National Hurricane Center thinks also. So please watch this entire video. I'd like to start off by saying, Texas, you are not out of the loop yet. And I would also like to say, Laura may have the lesser higher winds at this time, but Laura could turn into a very bad hurricane. Alright, here we go. I've got the map up here. This is the European model. Here we have Marco, here we have Laura. First, before I turn on anything, I want to tell you what's going on with Marco. Now, as of this morning, thunderbursts are continuing to fire up near the center of Marco, then weaken about an hour or two later due to the persistent shear. Now, overall, the storm's appearance hasn't changed, with nearly all the deep convection very near the northeast of the center. Remember, I told you there was going to be some wind shear up in this area. Okay? Well, that shear looks like it may be affecting it a little, but it's not going to change everything. Now, so far as the intensity forecast is looking, it remains still a little tricky with Marco due to its small size. It's a little teeny storm. Okay? The small size and the marginal environment. Now, there are some models that briefly relax the shear today. Now, if this shear does relax today, it will likely be enough of a change to allow Marco to reach hurricane strength. But later on, while Marco is near the coastline of Louisiana, the shear is forecast to increase. It's just unknown exactly how close to landfall this will occur, okay? Now, the best looking forecast at this time is that the strongest winds will be confined to the coastal areas of Louisiana, and that Marco will then weaken faster than most of the hurricanes. It's little. Once it hits land, it's going to weaken much faster as it goes over the swamps of Louisiana due to the shear. So here is Marco, right here. And I'm going to turn it on. We're going to see everything. But you folks need to hear what I have to say. We have Laura over here. We have Laura over here. Now, this is going to be a big change, folks. Now, it still could clip Louisiana, but it's going to go a little farther south. Texas and Louisiana, from Houston all the way in this little quadrant here. Just hold on. I'm not saying this is going to happen. This is just what it's looking like, and the National Hurricane Center seems to agree with what I think. They're a little scared to post stuff. Let me just tell you what they're thinking. Okay? There has been a significant westward shift in the latest model guidances, and it appears to be due to the most of the global models taking the center of Laura further south over the central or southern Hispaniola area, rather than emerging it off the north coast of Haiti like the GFS is showing. Now, it's not like the GFS is showing. Nobody's going by the GFS right now. Now, given that the most intense convection has persisted along the southern coast of Hispaniola, that's where the most probable area of development or should persist. As a result, it's looking like the National Hurricane Center track is similar, and it favors a more southerly and westerly track solution. But get this now, they haven't changed their tracking map that much yet because they're not sure if it's going to shift back a little bit. The new forecast track from the National Hurricane Center has not been shifted as far to the left as the models are showing Laura to go. And they did this because they don't know if the models will shift back to the north. But they are thinking that it's shifting back to north. The latter scenario is less likely. So, now, this is the European model. I'm going to show you a lot of stuff. And don't forget to click Show More below this video. That is very important. I don't have time to go over every single thing. So far as watches, warnings, what may occur, what may not occur, storm surge, all of that stuff, tornadoes, chance of tornadoes, you know we're going to have it with both of these storms, no matter how small they are or how big they are. All of that stuff will be posted under Show More. Now, this is around 1 p.m. this afternoon, and this is just set on sustained winds, okay? Here we have Marco, here we have Laura. So let's just go up to around 3 a.m. in the morning. Here we have Marco approaching where it looks like last evening it's going to be going. I think this is pretty good, folks. I think this is a good idea of what may be happening. This is sustained winds. Let's put it on the wind gust. And let's just move along. Now we're just going to turn this on and I'm just going to let it roll. Now we're up to Monday evening. It's getting closer. There we go. You can't go by these timestamps, but sometime Monday evening is when it's going to approach the Louisiana coastline. Now, we do have wind gusts now, so we're going to blow this map up a little bit so we can tell exactly where we might be. We'll get it even a little bit bigger for you so you can see. Now, the highest wind gust at this time looks like 56 miles per hour. That's not too bad because it's already hit this little bit of land. Remember I told you it was going to like slow up and like just downgrade really fast. Let's back up in time a little bit as we come over here as it is approaching land 49. So you can see it still has that chance of turning into a hurricane. But once the winds start going around, the circulation gets a little better up here, closer to the land areas, and that wind shear, that's probably going to complicate it a little bit. That's still up in the air. So that's what the European model is showing right now. This is what we should go by, okay? So we will move on up now to around 8 p.m. Monday, and you can see it is already downgrading big time. But we still have this wind, okay? Looks like highest winds in it should be about 44 miles per hour with the wind gust. We'll look at the sustained winds, and they don't look bad at all, folks, once it gets through. Don't mean it couldn't be 18 miles per hour. A lot of things are tricky. I'm not saying for you guys to go by this. When it comes to the wind, Marco's going to be very tricky. It's all going to depend on how much the shear wind right around the coastline when it picks up is going to affect it. But let's move on along now. Everybody knows all along the coastlines here, you should be, and we will check out the National Hurricane Center's forecast, okay, for Marco, because it's pretty good. They've got that down pretty well. Now when we go to Laura, Laura is going to be a different ball of wax. You can see right in this area, and I'm going to show you the tracks. Here we go to Tuesday at 6 a.m. Now, look at the wind gust in Laura already, okay? 90 miles per hour. I think some are showing even more. And if you recall, 2 or 3 days ago, 99 miles per hour. I showed you where it looked like Laura could go over to Texas. Well, let's move on up to Tuesday around 7 p.m. Laura is growing. What's the winds in Laura now? 105, probably even more than that, okay? Laura looks like she's going to be a bad storm wherever she goes. Now, of course, Laura could change, turn out to be nothing. You know how that goes. All I can do is show you what I am finding and share it with you. I'm not saying any of this is wrote in stone, but I am going to say one thing. If I had a storm with, let's see, 133 mile per hour winds in it, I'd be doing something. If it was coming, even looking like it might come to my house. You use your own judgment. Now, we'll move it up a little more to 5 p.m. And this barometric pressure, very, very, very low. Let's blow it up some. You can see around the Houston area and also around the Louisiana area here around Lake Charles. This is why I'm saying it's going to shift a little more to the west. I'm going to show you in just a moment. We will move up to Thursday. Now, this looks like the center of circulation in here. These are the wind gusts at this time, 155 miles per hour. Let's check out the sustained winds, the winds that will occur steadily. What are they in it as they pass by? 96 miles per hour in some places, could be higher than that in others. What about rain? What does the rain look like in it? A lot, my friends, a lot. Looking like this is just one. 3.87 inches, almost 4 inches in 3 hours. So, once again, you can see where this is at. It's around the Houston area, right in here. We'll blow it up a little bit bigger. See if we can get a few more towns in here. Here you go. Lake Jackson, Cleveland, Beaumont. All of these places right in here. As it moves along, we'll go to Thursday morning. And it's moving up north. But I want to bring this map down right quickly. If this plays out like this, I think it will go over closer to Texas, folks. That's why I'm trying to stress this. But I want you to watch something as I turn this on. This storm just isn't going to die. We have this high over here. It keeps pushing it, right? Well, watch it go up northerly light. It's going to turn. It's going to turn. It's going to get pushed. And after a while, we're up to Friday the 28th now. You would think it would be dead by now. Well, it does weaken. You can see how it started to weaken, but it's going to get up into Arkansas, affect Missouri a little bit, but then it's going to come over into Tennessee and all the way over North Carolina. But it should be just a low-pressure system. Just a low-pressure system at that time. Now, as we look at the tracking maps from My Fox Hurricane, you can see, here we go with the spaghetti models. You have 1, 2, these two, it may happen. The greater ones that forecast are further to the west of the portion of Louisiana, and we have all of these from this orange line all the way here going up into Texas. And it's looking like, and there's a TBCN. That's one of my favorites, as you know. It's got it also coming up over into Texas. This TBCN is one of the best tracking models. I mean, they're all good, but to me, that's one of the best. And it has it moving just like the European model that I showed you has it going. So, we'll look at something else. Here we have the WRF Hurricane model, okay? This is the WRF Hurricane model. It only goes out to 72 hours. As you can see, we're on hour 1. Here is Hugo. Little teeny Hugo. May turn into a hurricane, though. Okay? But it's not going to last very long. Here, look at here. This morning, we have Laura. So let's click this through slowly but surely. And I want you to pay attention to something. We'll take on Marco first. We'll move it on up. And you can see Marco does start at 25 hours to move over closer. That's not saying, like you've seen all these things for the peninsula of Florida and the panhandle down here of Alabama and Mississippi. See, you may get some rain, you may get a few gusty winds, but the storm center itself's moving over to Louisiana. And as we move on through, this is what they're showing. Okay? Now, keep your eyes on Laura. And look how Laura starts to intensify. Laura, in 72 hours, is looking like she could be a big storm. Right quickly, we'll look at the European map over at MyFox. And here we are set, as you can see, for the 24th. I've clicked it up one, folks, okay? Here's Hugo. Here we go here. Let's just move it up one. Hugo's already gone in over here. No big deal at all. Look at Laura. Laura is coming off. Laura is beginning to look like she's going to intensify. And where does Laura go? Over to Texas. It's black, folks. It's a bad storm. This is around the 27th that they have it marked. And then it moves on up, moving across, just like my European model showed also, and out across North Carolina as a low pressure system. This is the floater image for Laura. It starts, it's recorded from the 21st, and today's the 23rd. Of course, you can see how it's moving. We're up to the 21st. It moves very fast. I have no control of slowing it up or speeding it up. You have to just watch it as it goes. But if you take notice now, it moves more to the south as it starts to go over the Dominican Republic here. See it? The center is further south, and that's what's going to make these changes. As it looks now, by tomorrow or maybe this afternoon, everything may be a little bit different. Now, as we look at the National Hurricane Center itself, here is Marco. The winds are 70 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 994 millibars. If you're tracking 23.7 north, 87.0 west, Marco is moving at 13 miles per hour to the north-northwest. Looking like, as of this morning, top winds that are going to occur between now and the next 36 hours will be Category 1 hurricane winds of 74 degrees. 74 to 75 mile per hour winds in Marco. Now, when we come over to Laura, right now looking like 45 mile per hour winds, pressure 1005 millibars, located 19.1 north, 72.1 west, moving 18 miles per hour to the west-northwest. Now, looking like the highest winds as of now in about 96 hours is 100 miles per hour. But this is from the National Hurricane Center, folks. But they could get a little higher, I'm just telling you. This is what it's looking like now. It's still over the Dominican Republic, as you can tell. But the center is going to move a little more southerly. Instead of coming off of the tip like they thought it was, it's going to come off like this further south. Once it hits the Gulf, look out. Please, once again, do not forget to click Show More below this video for watches and warnings. That's where this will be posted. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, you want the latest in tropical weather or any kind of weather that may be headed your way, please click subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you check off all so you will get my videos. In the meantime, everybody in the Gulf Coast states, you need to keep your eyes on everything, okay? Everything. Because we have 99 days left of hurricane season, and it is just starting to really get going. And we're already over half of the names. Can you believe it? Hang on for the ride, folks. As I see things, I'll point them out. I'll follow it up. I'll let you know what's happening. Have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day. And peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. I'll have another update later this evening.